Hey guys, what's going on? Eddie here from Model Train People. I said I wasn't going to do this, but because this video series is literally what is keeping me on track, I'm at least going to give you guys something to see that, yeah, I am still alive, and yes, the layout is still kicking. So without further ado, here is your April update. Okay, so I posted, I want to say earlier this week, that literally nothing was completed down in the basement this month, and that is true. The last video update that I did, I frankly did all that probably in about, we'll call it 6 hours prior to, going upstairs and doing the final stuff for the video. And this, finally finding some time, this is my rare day off in the middle of the week, has allowed me to kind of sit down and start working on trying to figure out how the layout actually works. And what is sitting in front of you is two of the CMR triples, and this is going to be the classification yard, which is the beating heart of the Guyandotte Secondary. Some very quick housekeeping before we get into this. I did get a new mic. I did get some feedback in the comment section that I sounded a little, just didn't sound great. So I went and bought a mic. So hopefully the sound quality is better than it has been in the past. I'll try to do some magic on the back end to see if I can make it a little bit more clear. But at the very least, thank you for the feedback to that person. I forget who it was who told me. But yeah, so, all right. So looking at this, we're going to come down here just so you guys can see kind of how everything's working out. So left to right, this is the main, this is the secondary main, and for this yard will function as drop-offs from mainline trains. This is the outgoing track here, so things that have been worked, things that are ready to leave off the layout will come here to be picked up. This inside track here is going to function as storage and as a runaround. I guess this can also function as a runaround. What isn't pictured, on either end there. And then the two classification tracks here, first one and then the second one. The track yard plan, whatever the English is for that, obviously if you're looking at this, you see that there is a lot of coal, which is very similar to the, or what you can call the prototype reference. There's a coal mine on this layout, and that coal mine is going to drive a lot of the traffic. So what you'll see is a lot of empties will come out here. A lot of full cars will go to be ready to be picked up or to immediately depart the layout. And then you'll have trains come and drop off stuff for the 4 other local industries, and this is what this represents here. So I was originally thinking about throwing in a single just to space this out a little bit. And now that I actually have this put out, I can visualize this. I don't think I'm going to do this. I think this is the perfect size for what I'm trying to get at. And frankly, I'm really happy with how this has turned out now that it's, physically in existence. And I'm really, really happy about it. So what's next is with this, obviously I'll take the tape off of this. I need to buy feet and put these on just because CMR never sent them to me. Once this gets glued down, then yeah, I'll start doing the track, the rest of the modules. But power-wise, I need to drill to sink these down. I'm still not 100% sure if I'm going to power these turnouts or not. that's something that I'm still playing with, but I'll at least prep it to give myself the option. But as far as feeders for unit joiners, put unit joiners somewhere in the middle of the one here, 2, 3, and 4. So, just in case something gets isolated, I'm still able to run a little bit of ops. This last weekend, ended up going up to the Edison Great Train Show up in Edison, New Jersey, and ended up spending way more money than I wanted to. My birthday is here in the next 2 weeks, so I let myself kind of go a little crazy, and I ended up getting this U23 here, which I watched online for about 2 months, and then it disappeared. And then as soon as I saw it in the show, I was like, yeah, you know what? Like, this is serendipitous. I've got to get it. And then this Jeep 40-2 here to act as the sibling, if you will, for the Consist. So now that I have Consist partners for these Jeeps, these 2 Chessie locomotives, and then these guys here. So it's the SD40-3 from Scale Trains, and then BLI's SD40-2 will function as kind of the primary workers for the coal mine. Jeez. For the record, I'm running on about 3 hours of sleep right now, which is standard for me. So apologies for the failings of the English language there, but yeah, you're getting me at low sleep. But these guys are gonna be the ones responsible for running coal ops, just because of the heavier load associated with coal. The Jeeps are going to be responsible for obviously the other local operations that are happening on the layout. And then, you know what, I really like Chessie. I am not fully convinced that I want to do. I'm sure at some point in the future, whatever that next layout is, I'll probably try to do something that is fully Chessie centric. If you listen to the podcast at all, you've heard me kind of talk a little bit about what my deal is with Chessie. There's a lot of B&O, not a lot of C&O. At least that's how it feels, and it's because, look, B&O had the longer system of track. I think it is the more endearing of the Chessie system railroads. But for me, modeling Southern West Virginia, the Chesapeake and Ohio is such a big deal to me, right? And yeah, I'm trying to, maintain that. And also, by the way, if you are ever messing with Chessie and you are, focusing on an area that is dominated more C&O versus B&O, where the B&O lines would have seen more of the C&O and Western Maryland stuff kind of be operating on their lines. The C&O, for the most part, stayed pretty consistent with maintaining a majority C&O on their railroads. And the reasoning behind it is, once C&O and B&O began to merge operations, the B&O had more financial issues, which led to challenges with maintenance, where C&O was the more solvent of the two systems. So just got that out of a Chessie history book that I got for Christmas. So not totally pulling that out of my rear end, only slightly. But yeah, there you go. More you know on that. But yeah, this is the April update. Hopefully, I hope to have more of this done by the end of this month. The beginning of May to have all the track completed, I think, is probably not realistic. The beginning of June is now the new aim point. Which, man, I cannot wait to sit and get this running and do some ops. Just because, I mean, that's the whole point of this, right? Like, it's gonna look pretty, but at least, have it be a functional thing. Oh, sorry for the fingers there. Real quick, two things. I was asked to cover up on why I have decided to go with a modular system for this versus a a permanent layout sitting in the basement. And the reason is, look, I move. In the profession that I'm in, I move every 2 to 3 years. I'm kind of in an anomaly right now where I'm looking that I'm going to be in a place up to 6. But it at the very least allows me to, it's less of a demolition for me, and I have the potential to save the layout potentially if I do have to up and relocate, and it's a lot easier to move modules versus permanent bench work that is going to be thrown out with the with everything else as we're cleaning up the house. But yeah, also shout out to Billy from the Rail Brothers. He and I were talking on our Discord, talking about a yard lead for this. I'll post the picture here just so you guys can kind of see what the yard lead will look like, because there is no yard lead currently on the layout as it stands. That function is this looping track here. It kind of comes back over to where the industries are on the Guyandotte spur. But yeah, that you have the function of maintaining that yard lead so it can come out and do work. But the downside of that is while you're working the yard, so to speak, you're not going to be able to work the industries. And I think that's something that I'm going to try to troubleshoot and tease out from an operations perspective. So, you know what? Maybe that means I change the layout a little bit, but we'll see once the trains are actually running and how all this stuff is working out. But anyway, guys, yeah, that's what you get for April. Also, bananas for scale. So there you have it, guys. That is your April update for the Guyandotte Secondary. Thank you all for dealing with my erratic schedule and the lack of forward progress. Obviously, time is super finite between work and being a dad and trying to do all these things. So I genuinely appreciate a couple of you who are continuously tuning in on this, and I really appreciate it. If you want to see more of this, just remember, like, share, subscribe, tell everybody about what we're doing over here on Model Train People. If you want to join our conversations, see more about what we're about, because again, this is all about the Discord server and the community. Follow our link tree, come to the Discord, and we'd love to have you. But until May, guys, take care, and I'll see you guys in the next one.